Welcome to Wealth Wisdom. If you have ambitions to achieve financial success, please leave yes in the comment, and we are here to help you obtain insight and build wealth. The book we are going to share today is What I Wish I Knew When I Was 20 by Tina Seelig. The pep talk you need before taking your next steps. Whether you're entering adulthood or embarking on a new phase in life, a minefield of opportunities and obstacles awaits. So you need to pick your next steps wisely. That's where this sharing comes in. It's filled with practical advice to help you tackle important topics like decision-making, leadership, creativity, and navigating relationships. While it doesn't have all the answers, the following sections will equip you with key principles to apply in your own life. In 5 key lessons, you'll learn how to take intelligent risks, empathize and connect with others, and leverage your skills to achieve your ambitions. Ready to get a head start on living your best life? Before we continue, if you are interested in this topic, please consider subscribing and give us a thumb up. Let's continue. Embrace problems. Problems often harbor unseen opportunities. Rather than reflexively avoiding difficulties, it pays dividends to explore them. You may uncover real potential. Consider a few famous companies that pivoted only after their initial products flopped. Messaging heavyweight Slack started life as a failed gaming startup. As the company floundered, the founders noticed their internal communication system showed real promise. So they repurposed it for a wider audience. Photo-sharing giant Instagram likewise began as a traditional social media platform that failed to take flight. But the app's unique photo filter feature clearly resonated with users. The founders doubled down on visual sharing, and the rest is history. The founders of Slack and Instagram ultimately succeeded thanks to their open, tenacious attitude and willingness to work through problems. Giving up at the first bump dooms you to miss out on chances to brainstorm solutions. Take Jeff Palmer, for example, an entrepreneur who introduced an electronic organizer called Zoomer. It swiftly tanked. Rather than sulk or rage quit, Palmer took an unconventional step. He personally called every single person he could find who had purchased his failed Zoomer device. In lengthy conversations, he probed what exactly they hadn't liked or found useful about the product. From this qualitative feedback, Palmer realized there was an unmet consumer desire for better personal organization and scheduling capabilities while on the go. His next product, the Palm Pilot, directly addressed these frustrations and became a runaway mainstream success. Palmer's motto holds true: problems will always crop up, but addressing them head-on remains the only viable path forward. The initial step in tackling problems? Correctly identifying them by thoroughly studying all facets of an issue. Product designers call this need finding, which involves deeply analyzing exactly where and how end users are frustrated. As Einstein once cautioned, if I had an hour to solve a problem upon which my life depended, I would spend the first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask. At other times, finding those unresolved needs means daring to think beyond the status quo that feels familiar or right. For example, look at the ultimately game-changing innovation of balloon angioplasty, inserting and inflating a tiny balloon to open up a clogged artery. Before this technique was developed, the established norm for dealing with arterial blockages was highly invasive bypass surgery. When balloon angioplasty was first floated, most surgeons were openly skeptical, simply because it was so radically different from the customary way things were done. But the concept took off once doctors recognized it addressed the hitherto unmet need for a less dangerous procedure. The truth is, none of us are immune to this ingrained problem blindness. We unconsciously assume that because we personally don't perceive a pressing unsolved need, none exists. But much of the time, we simply remain oblivious to recognizing our own unmet needs. Health company 23andMe fundamentally challenged long-held assumptions that only a select priesthood of medical experts could ever access an ordinary individual's genetic testing history and health information. 23andMe's founder, and Wojcicki stubbornly navigated both deep-set regulatory barriers and consumer wariness about genetics testing. But she never lost confidence that democratizing personal DNA insights could empower millions. So, to start re-examining your own implicit assumptions and blind spots, take an audit of your daily habits, waking time, social circles, and leisure activities. List out alternatives. Actively hunt for those small frustrations that often betray wider unmet needs. Then pick a habit and experimentally try to shift it. See what emerges. As the actor Alan Alda memorably put it, your assumptions are your windows on the world. Scrub them off every once in a while, or the light will come in. Don't fear failure. We tend to dodge thinking about our failures and missteps. But avoiding reflection means we don't extract useful takeaways, condemning us to repeat mistakes. Failure is a natural, inevitable part of expanding your abilities and trying new things. The only reliable way to avoid failing is to stay perpetually within your comfort zone, never challenging yourself. In other words, a recipe for treading water. Attitudes toward failure differ markedly across cultures. In some societies, public failure is seen as a terrible disgrace. In fact, an Olympic medalist weightlifter from Thailand partially attributed her victory to changing her legal name several times, a common tactic among Thais hoping to bury past public failures. Extensive research shows that societal views on the stigma of failure can either enable or perceptibly dampen innovation. For example, Sweden's notoriously harsh bankruptcy laws mean that entrepreneurs whose ventures collapse often remain permanently in debt, vastly disincentivizing starting new companies. However, when Japan lifted similar laws punishing business failures, the number of high-potential startups founded in the country substantially increased. This is likely why Silicon Valley has evolved into such a hotbed of innovation. Failure has long been accepted there as a routine, even necessary step along the path towards success. Fail fast and often is a common Valley mantra, with bankruptcy even seeming to bolster rather than destroy future fundraising prospects among local startups. At its core, all learning stems from first failing and then analyzing why. Watch an infant learn to crawl or walk. Falling down repeatedly is an intrinsic part of the universal process hardwired into our physiology. You don't learn football from books or piano from sheet music alone. Hands-on doing precedes success, and often doing means temporarily failing. Entire industries are built upon waves of failure ultimately leading to breakaway success. Most venture-backed firms flop, but VCs keep investing because occasional massive outlier hits more than justify the risks across their portfolios. In publishing, the vast majority of books sell under 3,000 copies, but rare breakout hits are so wildly lucrative they carry the whole business model. Similar fail more, succeed bigger models sustain the toy, music, and film trades. That doesn't mean you should fail as a matter of principle. When personal or professional failure clearly looms ahead, don't just stoically grit your teeth to save face while doubling down on a doomed path. Quitting can be wise. It's a good idea to leave bad-fit jobs sapping your spirit, unfulfilling relationships, or stagnant projects that refuse to pan out despite your best efforts. Move on smoothly, head high, mind open to new directions. Whether you persist through early mistakes or quit efforts that reveal themselves as ultimately failed experiments, always squeeze lessons learned from the experience. Your very errors contain valuable data if analyzed sincerely. Every fall makes you wiser. Make passion your starting point. Conventional wisdom says, follow your passion. But for most people, passion alone is rarely enough to build a career. Making it work requires aligning dreams with genuine skills and market realities. Bluntly put, passion without talent won't cut it. Just loving basketball doesn't make you a good player. Better to enjoy pickup games than pursue a doomed pro career. And even abundant talent might not pay bills if demand is lacking. Trying to sell exquisite artistic paintings full-time often proves futile. The market is, quite simply, saturated. But this doesn't mean you need to retire your bold dreams in favor of a dreary 9-to-5. With pragmatism, you can converge passion, skill, and market needs. The first step is discovering your true passions. It's rare to know what your passions are from a young age, unless, like Mozart, you are a child prodigy. Be prepared to try unexplored pursuits to uncover what deeply excites you. Take a cooking class. Try fencing. Your passions may lie where you least expect to find them. As your interests emerge, don't let others limit you into narrow lanes. Well-meaning guidance often tracks us onto rigid paths. Kids who are good at Lego, for example, are often told to be engineers. But these innate skills can transfer to unexpected domains. Consider Professor Nathan Furr's circuitous career. He began college as an English major before realizing professor salaries were far too low. He pondered where else he could apply his research, writing, and critical thinking talents. Lacking business experience, he slowly built relevant credentials through finance clubs, consulting internships, and networking. Without abandoning English, Furr pivoted his skills to new settings where he could thrive financially and spiritually. It's never a failure to adjust professional goals as awareness grows. Unexpected detours often reveal fulfilling destinations. The advice to follow your passion still contains truth, when framed as an internal compass, not an inflexible roadmap. First, understand what intrinsically motivates you. But also cultivate practical skills and chase real-world opportunities. Harmonizing these elements unlocks careers fueled by passion. The path ahead will meander, not run straight. But by fusing passions with pragmatic skills, while exploring emerging possibilities, you can create something far beyond initial dreams. Work hard at getting lucky. Successful people often humbly credit good luck for their achievements. And chance does play a role. Two gifted singers with equal talent might perform at the same open mic night, but only one gets noticed by a record producer. A scientist can struggle with a problem for years before a random flash of insight cracks the code. But here's the truth behind luck and success: those seemingly serendipitous breaks always flow to the hardest workers. Putting in long hours generates opportunities for luck to blossom. When a lucky break does arrive, preparation ensures you can fully capitalize on it. As scientist Louis Pasteur said, "Chance favors the prepared mind." It turns out that numerous strategies beyond just hard work and good luck can significantly enhance your financial success. Take author Michael Lewis and his apparently lucky career. A chance dinner chat with a top finance executive's wife landed Lewis a coveted Wall Street job. When the 1987 stock market crashed, Lewis, uniquely prepared as his firm's derivatives expert, penned a best-selling book on 1980's Wall Street greed. But was Lewis merely lucky? No. When a random encounter tossed him a job lead, Lewis seized it assertively. When recession ruined his colleagues, Lewis spotted an opportunity to publish a smash hit book. At every turn, he grabbed chances and directed them. How can you maximize luck for yourself? Keep in mind that people offer more opportunities to those they trust. Instead of envying others' success, build authentic connections, empathy, and goodwill. Help solve problems without expecting anything in return. Every time you do, you'll deposit more into your trust bank for the future. Additionally, adjust your mindset. Bitter people notice chances, but fail to act. "I could have done that," they mutter later. Disappointed people leap before they're properly prepared. They ace interviews but flop in new roles for lack of skills. The lucky person sees openings and prepares to grab them. Refresh your eyes to combat stale surroundings. Familiar scenes stop sparking creative ideas. Pretend you're a tourist and your mundane workplace is brand new. What problems or prospects pop out? Lucky people know no experience is ever wasted. Steve Jobs dropped out of college to take seemingly pointless calligraphy classes. But his aesthetic and minimalist beauty later massively influenced Apple's iconic product designs. Luck is a constant, like the wind. Set your sail to catch it. Stay open and alert to chances. Invest to prepare for opportunities. Tend constantly to your relationships and interests. That broad base nourishes luck. Then ride the gusts toward your hoped-for destination. Be a mensch. There's one key resource that ensures positive outcomes, at a professional and personal level. Yet, it remains strangely untapped. Curious to know what it is? Kindness. Talent and expertise surely enable success. But overlooking basic human decency hinders potential. This is because simple courtesy and kindness create surprising opportunities. So, here are a few impactful yet easy ways to enrich your network through kindness. Express appreciation. Every favor you request, from a short coffee with a mentor to brainstorming advice, imposes opportunity costs on others' time. Yet few properly convey gratitude nowadays. A genuine thank you email after each chat makes a world of difference. Remember, it's a small world. With billions of people, it seems unlikely an old colleague or neighbor might influence your future. But surprising interlinks happen often. Former subordinates can become mentors. Childhood friends sometimes have connections to hiring managers. Burn no bridges. Safeguard your reputation. Think of interactions as drops in a pool. Positive exchanges add clear water. But negative ones stain the pool red. A few dark drops can ruin the hue. Many subsequent positive additions barely dilute the taint. So stay thoughtful and kind. Treating everyone well, from receptionists to CEOs, builds valuable trust. Consider long-view ripples. When at a crossroads, envision proudly telling your grandchildren your life story, accounting for every decision you made and every action you took with pride. Even incorrect decisions seem wise if intentions are sound. Does acting self-serving now align with your future self-standards? Keep checks to avoid future regret. If you err, apologize well. Here are the essential elements for a sincere apology. It's offered in a timely fashion, it owns the mistake, and it promises improvement. Apology out of the way, move forward constructively. There's no need for long speeches. Sincerity matters most. When forced to pick between self-interest or ethics, choose what's ethical. Intelligent people often rationalize convenient but incorrect choices. Don't become that opportunist. Prioritize your integrity. This all boils down to being a mensch, a person of honor who helps others without expecting gain. A mensch sees beyond status and judges individuals by their character. A mensch knows that kindness yields compound interest over time. And being a mensch unlocks success and fulfillment that talent alone cannot. So express thanks. Tend your web of human connections. Check your long-view motives when choices arise. And default to lifting others up rather than profiting at their expense. Follow the golden rule. With conscientiousness and moral courage, achievements will follow. That's the end of today's sharing. If you like our content, please give us a thumb up and share it with your friends. See you next time.